Well, hello and welcome to part 2. So this is the configuration as received with the HSS. I originally thought I was going to stick HSS, and I ended up buying this pickguard, which I thought would make a nice contrast to the yellow, and it does. And then later I changed my mind and decided to go HH. So I tried to find another one like that, but could not. So I ended up finding one called Golden Pearl, which also makes a very nice contrast. Now this one was supposed to come with no holes, but with the slot for the blade switch cut. As you can see, no slot cut. So what I've done is I've gone onto the back of it, and because the Oscar pickguard fits in here like it should, I used it as a template, so that fits perfectly. So I used this as a template on the back, lining up the bottom because that's where I need it to be lined up in front of, and I ended up marking the holes and where the blade switch would need to go. There's also a little bit of a problem where it doesn't fit in up high enough, and it's touching on the bottom of the bridge here, or on the top of the bridge, or the front of the bridge, or whichever way you want to say it. It's not fitting in there, and the holes are not up high enough to screw it down, and the humbucker slot is too close to the back edge here for it to fit nicely in this pocket. So I also marked here a section that needs to be shaved off. So, you know when they say the luck of the Irish? Somehow it completely skipped me, and my dad used to say, I think it skipped him too, if it wasn't for bad luck I'd have no luck at all. It passed down to me. It seems like every time I try to do something there's always a challenge. So this is going to be the pickguard. It's going to be HH, and I've got a tool called a blade runner, which is basically a jigsaw mounted up underneath a plate that can act like a table saw, and I'm going to see if I can drill this out really small, file it, and then maybe run it in the blade runner to make the rest of the slot, and drill the holes. So I've never done that, so that'll be a first. The other thing that we've got now is Wilkinson humbucker pickups. These are called the WVHZ pickups. This is the neck. It's a 7.5K, and I thought that this color of zebra would also go nice with the yellow and the gold, and the knobs eventually will all be cream as well. I didn't think about these when I was planning it, so initially I'm going to stick some chrome ones on there, and there's a set of these on the way from China that will match those. So the neck is 13.8K, and what I've decided to do with this is put in a 5-way switch, which will give me in this position bridge. It'll go parallel, it'll go neck, it'll go something crazy called neck with a tone capacitor, because I think when somebody designed that scheme they ended up with this one and they go, what the hell can we do with that position? And they said, oh, let's put a tone capacitor up here, which is useless. And then the fifth position will be pickups in series. So I decided to go that way after I had already bought a three-way switch, thinking I was just going to go the regular three-way. And I'm going to put push-pulls, actually push-pushes. These are new. Push-pushes for the volume. And I'm going to be doing independent volume. I'm going to show you a circuit in a minute. As I've done on the other ones, independent volumes. What else do I need to show you? Oh yes. Before I go to that, it should look something like this. I do have the depth to be able to get those in there. This one also doesn't fit exactly, but it fits a little bit better. And then it would be like, you know, push like that. So that's the plan. And this pot down here is going to be just an A500. I've got both sizes, a 541 and a 490 in the full size. Depending on what I'm going to be able to get in here or in there, in this corner, I may not be able to fit this large one in there. I'm not too sure about it. Like I said, this one came with the holes drilled, and it came drilled with the M8s instead of the 7, or I should say M6. So this one fits this M8 switch no problem. This is this size. Now, I bought a bunch of these. There are 10 in a package, and they always only come with one nut and one washer, and then you have to rob a nut from another one, and you end up with no nuts. I'm going to have to go out and see if I can find some M8 nuts to fit these things, so I can use the rest of them. So I put this together just to show you what it should end up looking like. I'm going to take that off. I also bought the matching panel for the back, and I also bought this Wilkinson trim. I don't want to put too much stuff on the face of the guitar. So I bought this Wilkinson trim system. Came across it when I was looking for the pickups, and it has quite a heavy block on it, and it's supposed to be a 6-screw. I hope it is. I haven't opened it. Let's just see. With the trim arm, and it's got screws. It came with springs and 6 screws in the front. Now I desperately hope that these 6 screws line up with the 6 screws that are already there, so I can just drop this thing in and screw it in. So this is a nice block. It's very heavy. I'm just going to put that back in this little box for now. This is a push-in trim arm. Yeah, and I've got a tip coming for this. I hope that comes off. Yep, it does. I've got a tip coming for this, and you know, I rarely ever use this. I might start trying to figure out how to use trim. The block on this one, I noticed was extremely thin there, and it weighs pretty much nothing. It works for what I needed to do. It's the same as on the Oscar guitar. Nice chrome saddles, stainless on the other one, and this is the bridge ground wire, which is okay. The pickup jack with these 2 flimsy wires I'm going to change out, and I'm probably going to put a braided wire on this. Alright, so let's get the knife out of the way before I end up being very unlucky with that. The circuit is going to look something like this. And we'll have our neck and bridge again with independent volume wiring. And what's going to happen is I've shown position 5 here, how it gets to be the series. This capacitor here is what they call the tone capacitor on the neck in position 4. I don't even think I'm going to put that in because I just don't think it's going to have any value for me, because I already have a tone that works with any of the combinations. So on position 5, what happens is this red is linked here, and this red here links those two. So that shows how the switch is linked internally. So what happens is the signal comes from the neck, it goes into here, it crosses over on this link, it comes down through here, through the switch, goes in through the grounded, or not the ground, but the negative of this bridge, comes out through the pot, down here, back up into there, and because of this link, it links it down here, and then the switch brings it out to there, and you end up with your two pickups, power going together in series out to the jack. I'm going to probably choose Fralin resistors, which at the moment I don't know what they'll be. These were values that I used on Oscar. Different pickups, I have to actually test that. And I don't know if I'm going to use 33 or 22. I'll probably go 33. Because in single coil, if I want to add some tone, the 33 might give me a little bit more play. So that's the circuit I'm going to be working with to wire this whole thing up. And my first challenge is going to be trying to do the work on this pickguard. And if I screw it up, it's going to be a while until I can get another one in here. Hopefully it'll do it. I'm going to go get that tool and set that up and see what my luck will be today. Okay, we got a slot, got to clean it up. It's not bad. It's not too bad. I'm just going to stick a little file in there and even it off a little bit before I go ahead and drill these holes and see if, drill those outside holes and see if that switch will fit in there. If it doesn't, it's foobarred. You might be hearing a trickle in the background, and that's my sump pump because it's raining here pretty good today. Oh, and guys like my snowman lounge pants, getting ready for winter up here. So I'm going to go through with a 1/16 from the back, and the screws go up to a 9/64 hole, and then countersunk from the front. Everybody yell lock. Let's see if the blade switch holes line up. That'll be mounted this way. Oh my God! Huh. I think we got it. Let's see if we are Luck of the Irish or SOL. I didn't think my first day on part 2 would take so long. Okay, that's going to work. Let's see if the blade switch will work. Well, we've got it tightened down. I think we got it. Look at that. Beauty. So that's the way I wanted it. Now for the other holes. We will take this off. I'm going to try our hand at shaving the neck heel with this device. I've never done this before either, so this is a whole new experience for me as well. Okay, let's see what we can do. How do you think? Did we get it on the first try? I got it pretty close to the line anyway. Let's see how she does. Alrighty. What do we say? What do we do? We need more. Get out of the way. Oh yeah. It needs just a tiny bit more. I see this hole is coming into view. Alright. I'm going to do a little bit more of that. Well, after multiple tries with the little router bit, I got it. To fit underneath there with the pockets or equivalent. I put this pot on to test it because it's really close to the routing down there. Thought I might have to take a little gouge out of the wood, but it doesn't look like I will if I have it angled just like that, if I can remember. So it's getting really close here, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, I need to do some vacuuming and do something about removing this bridge and see if the Wilkinson will fit on there as the next step. Alright, we're getting some springs out. It's still a bit tight on that side. We're going to give it another little bit. You hear that water in the sump pump? We had another good rain. I think these screws are almost out now. Here we go. Got it out. Alright. Let's see how we do on the front. The front screws are up a wincy bit, and I guess to give it the bounce. This wire is so annoying. It's everywhere you want your hands to be. There, stay down there. Alright, let's see how tight these things are. Not too bad. Oh! Alright, it's going to be slow going. Well, I got that one out. A little bit of chipping around the screw holes. A moment of truth. They do not line up. And now we know it won't go in there, and I do not want to do any extra work on plugging those holes. So we are going to reuse Donna Original. Oh, I named the guitar Donna. This is Oscar's girlfriend, Donna. So I just found out how to adjust these screws. You tighten them down until the back of the bridge pops up, and then just back it off till it's flat. There we go. That'll do. Alright, let's fight with these things again. Okay, back where it was. Alright, now that that's that, we'll have to build up the pickguard. I've got the neck mounted, the switch and the pots in, just semi-tightened at the moment. I've got part of the circuit that's in yellow installed on the switches that are provisioned, and I'm doing most of this off camera because it's just long and tedious work, you know, I've shown some of this before, so I'm just going to finish up installing the other pickup and getting this thing all pre-wired before I do a test fit in the body. Okay, peoples, I believe I have colored in all of the areas, and that's what she looks like. So all I've got to do now is do a test fit, and the jack will hook up here to this ground and positive going to the switch. I've got some test points here which I'm going to have alligators on to be able to see if I need Fralin resistors and to be able to choose what the appropriate type is. So guys, I got it in place. It can go up a little bit more. You have to make some of these holes line up. That one lines up. This one lines up. So I've got another issue that I have to resolve, and that's again the problem of the fender style switch. Too tall for the routing that's in the bottom of the cavity, and it's causing a problem there. And so I will need to do some freehand gouging out at the bottom there to make sure that the switch has space to sit in and it's not pushing on the contacts. I don't want this to be crushed down in there like it is right now. So I kind of marked here, this is where the center of that is, so I'm thinking try to take out, is this on, yeah, if I try to take out about maybe this much, I can have it sit there without having a pressure problem. But that'll be a job for tomorrow. But no, right after I said it's a tomorrow job, I remembered that I wanted to try to plug up these holes as well that I need to re-drill in order to make the pickguard fit. And so I cut little dowels and plugged them up, let them dry overnight, and before doing that There's a scuff I made there. And before doing that, I also made this little gouge in there just to be able to have that selector switch not bottom out. So I'm ready to re-drill the holes for this pickguard. So these two screw holes are the two which match up. The others need to be drilled. That will now match where that sits. Damn, that's pretty. I have my trusty little hammer and my trusty little finishing nail. I'm going to make a little starter point for my drill bit. I guess we can officially peel the pickups. I have drilled all the holes I needed to put in there. And so, let's see, we need to, on the back panel I've decided 2 of the screws fit, and I'm not drilling the extra holes because, I mean, how many screws do you need to hold in such a small panel? I'm thinking 4. And then that's that. I mean, such a small plate does not need 6 screw holes on it. In the kit I got from Donner, they gave me a sacrificial set of strings, which I'm using to mount initially, so I can test out my Fralin resistor choices. I've got a 470, a 1K, and a 2K. I'll test them on both circuits, see which one is the better. So I'm going to continue mounting these strings, and I'll probably need to wait a little bit for the neck tension to build and bend it so I can adjust it enough that I can strum these things, get some sound, and do some testing. I have been able to determine that I do not need any Fralin resistors for these pickups, so I will be able to put the ground jumper on the switch where it needs to be for both of those pots. And the pickups sound pretty good. So while I'm still at this bench, I wanted to check the action of the nut up here. And I remembered that when I had basically done this before and I had to shim that, I didn't finish the top of the nut, so I did that now for the action height there, and I've set the saddles. So now I've got to take this pickguard off, put my jumpers in, and should be able to close this baby up. And I have reached the point where it is completely secured. The brand new D'Addario strings are on it. I have completed the nut work, which looks picture perfect. Just beautiful. I think that's the best nut I've ever done. So I'm just waiting for the neck to get under tension, do some final tuning, and then we'll take it to the amplifier and fire it up. Hello all the peoples out there. We are back at the desk. I've got it hooked up to the 65 Deluxe plane, and just like it was in the previous part of this, it's all in the same settings. So we've got it now in the bridge position, and it sounds like this. By the way, the amp is only set at 2.5. Both. Neck alone. A little bit better. Series. Good boost. And the push works. If we do neck, one thing that was a surprise to me is that when I'm in the series position, when I was looking at the schematic earlier when I outlined it to you, I said it goes through the volume pot for the bridge. I didn't realize at the time that it'll now act something like a Gibson, where if you have them both up, it works. This acts as a master tone to take it down. Because it goes through that pot. It grounds it out. So you can get series as long as you have some bridge. So between the two pots, you're still able to blend between bridge and pickup in both split and full humbucker mode. So I accomplished what I was looking to do, and works just great. And I'm very happy with the results. There is a little bit of a slipping problem with these tuners. You turn it and nothing happens. Like the tuning key is going, but it doesn't engage with the post. Yeah, weakest part that I found so far are these tuners. A couple of them are worse than others, like I think the E and the D slip the most. And the tone, $33 microfarad. Okay, that is the expose of the Donna guitar all together.